Jacqueline Lee Bouvier was born on a warm summer day in July 1929 in Southampton, New York. From the very first moment, people noticed her bright, curious eyes and gentle smile. Everyone called her Jackie. As a child, Jackie preferred quiet corners to noisy playgrounds. While other children played games and ran around, she often sat with a book in her lap. Reading was her favorite thing to do. Each page carried her away to new worlds filled with adventure, beauty, and wonder. Jackie grew up in a wealthy family, but her home life was not always easy. Her parents, John and Janet Bouvier, divorced when she was very young. This change made Jackie feel sad sometimes, but she also learned to be strong and independent. Her father, called Black Jack because of his dark hair and charming manner, adored her and called her his little princess. He made sure she knew how special she was. Her mother, Janet, loved horses and taught Jackie how to ride. Jackie became an excellent rider, winning ribbons at local horse shows. Riding helped her feel free and confident, as if she could explore the whole world at her own pace. At school, Jackie showed an early talent for art and observation. She carried a small sketchbook and pencil wherever she went. When she visited museums or admired flowers in her garden, she would draw them carefully, paying attention to every detail. Jackie believed that beauty was all around if you took the time to look closely. These early habits of drawing and observing would shape her future life and work. Jackie attended Miss Porter's School in Connecticut, a place known for its strong academics and graceful traditions. There, she studied literature, history, and foreign languages. She worked hard in class and made friends who shared her love of books. Evenings often found her in the school library, reading stories of distant lands and famous artists. She dreamed of one day traveling beyond the borders of her home, learning more about the world she saw on the pages of her novels. After graduating from Miss Porter's, Jackie enrolled at Vassar College, a respected liberal arts school. She continued to read widely, from classic novels to modern essays. She joined a small art club, where she discussed paintings with other students and practiced sketching in the college gardens. She also studied French, knowing that this language would open doors to new cultures and ideas. An exciting opportunity came when Jackie won a scholarship to spend a year in Paris, France. That year changed her life. In Paris, she woke each morning to a city alive with art, history, and style. She walked along the Seine River, admiring how the light danced on the water. She visited grand museums like the Louvre, where she saw ancient sculptures and colorful paintings. At small cafes, she practiced ordering croissants and coffee in French. She discovered that languages were more than words. They were keys to understanding other people's hearts and minds. In Paris, Jackie also learned about fashion and elegance. She saw women wearing simple but beautiful clothes in muted colors. She noticed how a clean line or a delicate pattern could make an outfit feel graceful and confident. She sketched dresses she liked in her journal, jotting down ideas about combining French style with American practicality. She dreamed of one day inspiring others with her own sense of grace and taste. Every evening, instead of returning straight to her student residence, Jackie sometimes sat in a quiet park or on a bench by the river. She opened her journal, titled My Favorite Places in Paris, and wrote down the names of streets that felt special, the notes of music that drifted from a nearby cafe, or the scent of fresh bread baking at dawn. These notes captured her feelings of wonder and discovery and reminded her that the world was full of small treasures. By the time Jackie finished her year in Paris and returned to the United States, she had grown into a confident young woman. She carried with her not only a stronger command of French, but also a deeper belief in her own abilities. She knew that with curiosity and determination, she could learn from every experience. She had discovered that reading, art, and travel were powerful tools for understanding life and connecting with others. As she prepared to begin the next chapter of her life, whether it led her to new studies, a career, or unexpected adventures, Jackie held tightly to the lessons she learned as a quiet girl with big dreams. She knew that her love of books, her strength from horse riding, and her eye for beauty would guide her through any challenge. Above all, she believed that every person could find wonder and courage by looking closely at the world around them and by dreaming of something more. After finishing her studies, Jackie moved to Washington, D.C., to work as a reporter for the Washington Times-Herald. Each morning, she stepped into busy streets and stopped strangers to ask simple questions. She would say, "Good morning, what do you think about this new law?" Or, "How are you spending your weekend?" Jackie listened carefully and wrote down their answers in neat handwriting. Her clear questions and friendly smile made people feel at ease, and her stories became popular with readers. One evening, at a small dinner party in a grand house on Embassy Row, Jackie met John F. Kennedy. He was a young senator from Massachusetts with bright eyes and a warm laugh. He wore a dark suit, and she wore a modest green dress. When he spoke, people leaned forward to listen, and she watched him with interest. They discovered they both loved books and history. Jackie found his curiosity and courage exciting, and John admired her intelligence and grace. Their first dates were simple and full of laughter. John took Jackie to quiet jazz clubs where soft music floated through the air. He also invited her to art openings at the National Gallery, where they walked slowly and whispered their thoughts about the paintings. Jackie enjoyed how John valued her opinions. She felt seen and respected for the first time in her life. In September 1953, John and Jackie were married in Newport, Rhode Island. Jackie wore an ivory silk gown with a long lace veil that belonged to her grandmother. The wedding was beautiful, but Jackie knew it marked the start of new challenges. As a senator's wife, she had to learn the rules of politics and diplomacy. She practiced greeting important guests with a firm handshake and a warm smile. She read books about international customs and watched news coverage of royal events to prepare herself. When John decided to run for president in 1960, Jackie was already expecting their first child. Despite her condition, she campaigned by writing letters to voters, attending small community meetings, and appearing alongside John at rallies. She spoke gently to mothers, promising to support education and the arts. Her kindness and calm presence helped John connect with many people, especially women who saw in her a balance of warmth and strength. On Inauguration Day in January 1961, Jackie became First Lady at just 31 years old. She entered the White House with a clear vision. She wanted to transform its rooms into living galleries of American art and history. Each morning, she walked through the old halls and imagined where to place a painting or a piece of furniture. She invited museum experts to advise her and began a renovation project that would delight the nation. Even as First Lady, Jackie never lost her own voice. She began writing 100 Tips for a Woman Living in a Man's World, small notes about confidence, kindness, and honesty. She encouraged women to know their own minds, speak up, and treat others with respect. Though these tips remained private, they guided her every day. Jackie also made time for children's education. She visited elementary schools and read stories in slow, clear English so that young listeners could follow along. She encouraged them to keep journals, draw pictures of their dreams, and share their words with friends. Through her work as a reporter, her role as a senator's wife, and her position as First Lady, Jackie showed that a woman could combine kindness with independence and make a positive difference in her country. On November 22, 1963, Jackie Kennedy was riding with her husband in Dallas, Texas, when everything changed in an instant. She wore a bright pink suit and a small matching hat. In the parade, people cheered as the car passed by. Suddenly, shots rang out. Jackie saw her husband slump forward. She reached for him, her hands trembling but steady. At the hospital, she refused to leave his side. The blood on her pink suit became a silent testament to her love and loss. Later, she stepped onto Air Force One, still wearing the same suit, and with quiet dignity, she showed the world her grief. After her husband's funeral, Jackie faced a very hard time. She had to care for her two young children, Caroline and John Jr. She moved them away from the spotlight to protect them from pain. In 1968, Jackie married Aristotle Onassis, a wealthy Greek businessman. She explained that her children needed safety and stability. Some people did not understand her choice, but Jackie was determined to do what felt right for her family. As Mrs. Onassis, Jackie's life took on a new rhythm. She traveled with her husband to many countries. In India, she admired the colors and patterns of saris and visited the Taj Mahal at sunrise. In France and Italy, she explored museums and historic sites, always wearing clothes that honored local style. She collected small sketches and notes in a book she called Beautiful Things I Have Seen. In quiet moments, she would open that book and remember the joy she found in each place. In 1975, Aristotle Onassis passed away. Once again, Jackie faced loss and change. She decided to return to New York City and to find a new purpose. She became a book editor for Viking Press and later for Doubleday. In those offices, she discovered a fresh passion. She read manuscripts from beginning to end, suggested edits, and helped writers shape their stories. She worked on books about art, history, and children's tales. Her colleagues admired her keen eye and her gentle advice. Jackie found comfort in words and in the creative work of helping others share their ideas. Throughout her life, Jackie Kennedy Onassis showed remarkable strength. She began as a shy girl who loved reading and art. She became a reporter, then First Lady, and later a global traveler and editor. Each time she faced loss or a new challenge, she found ways to renew herself. She never stopped learning, exploring, and appreciating beauty. Jackie believed that true elegance came from within. It was not only about clothes or fame. It was about courage in hard times, kindness toward others, and an open heart ready to learn. She taught her children to read, to visit museums, and to notice small wonders in everyday life. Her legacy reminds us that grace under pressure and a love of culture can inspire many people around the world. In the end, Jackie Kennedy Onassis was more than a famous name or a stylish figure. She was a woman of quiet courage, deep curiosity, and lasting compassion. Her story encourages us to face our own challenges with dignity, to protect our loved ones, and to seek beauty and knowledge wherever we go. Jackie Kennedy Onassis lived a life of many chapters. She began as a curious girl who loved books, art, and horse riding. Even as a child, she dreamed of faraway places and found comfort in quiet moments with a sketchbook or a novel. Her early years taught her that strength can grow from stillness and that beauty surrounds us when we pay attention. As a young woman, Jackie became a reporter in Washington, D.C. She learned to ask clear questions, listen with respect, and write stories that helped people understand each other. That work showed her that communication and kindness go hand in hand. When she married John F. Kennedy and became First Lady, she used her talents to restore the White House, promote the arts, and speak for education. Even in the bright lights of the public eye, she never lost her gentle grace. Tragedy struck in Dallas in 1963 when President Kennedy was assassinated. Jackie's courage in those dark hours inspired millions. She held her head high, cared for her young children, and showed the world that dignity and love can shine through unimaginable pain. Later, as Mrs. Onassis, she traveled the world and filled her life with new experiences. In her final career as a book editor, Jackie returned to her first love, the power of stories. She helped authors shape their words and opened new doors for readers. Jackie's journey teaches us 3 deep lessons. Find strength in quiet. Even in noisy or difficult times, take moments for reading, reflection, or drawing. These small pauses can build inner resilience. Use your voice with kindness. Whether you ask a question, share an idea, or speak for others, do so with respect and clarity. Thoughtful communication can change hearts and minds. Embrace change and keep learning. Jackie moved from reporter to first lady, from grieving widow to world traveler, and from social figure to editor. She never stopped exploring new paths. We can follow her example by staying curious and open to new challenges. To apply these lessons today, set aside 5 minutes each morning to read or write in a journal. Speak to someone with genuine interest, asking them how they feel or what they think. And when life brings unexpected changes, welcome them as chances to learn and grow. Congratulations on reaching the end of this story. By listening and reading, you have practiced your English listening and comprehension skills. Now let's have a little fun. Question: which quality of Jackie Kennedy inspires you most? A. Quiet strength and resilience. B. Curiosity and love of learning. Comment A or B below to share your answer. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel. Your support gives us the motivation to continue making high-quality, free English learning content. If you'd like to help us cover our operating costs, consider making a small donation. Every contribution, large or small, helps us keep this channel going and helps more learners just like you. Thank you for learning with us.